Jets fans, what's going on? It's your friend Dom C. Here, cleanly shaven for another installment of our weekly series here on GreenBean Jets Fan that we're calling Project Prospect. Project Prospect is just a little bit of a deeper dive into some draft eligible players who I think are either already on the radar for Joe Douglas in the front office or could be sneaky fits positionally and schematically for our New York Jets. We already touched on a prospect last week that I really like, a day 3 prospect, Trey Palmer, the receiver from Nebraska. Well, I'm going to stay with the wide receivers this week. As I've said before, and I've probably said ad infinitum, I think the wide receiver room is going to look very different come the start of the offseason and really the start of next season. There's a good possibility that we could be down 2 or 3 of our wide receivers. If you count Jeff Smith, who's an unrestricted free agent, you count Corey Davis, who I think is a likely cap casualty, and Braxton Berrios, who regressed in his play and production and is probably better suited to play somewhere else so we can save that cap money. So that's 3 viable players who took meaningful snaps for our Jets last fall that we're going to have to kind of replace. So I don't want to downplay what I think is a really, really important position. So we're going to talk about another prospect today, another prospect that's probably more of a day 2 guy, second round, third round talent. I have him in my top 100 of overall prospects. And he was a Senior Bowl standout down in Mobile and a guy that was just turning heads left, right, and center. And his name's Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson's a 23-year-old fifth-year senior out of Stanford University. He stands 6 foot, 1 1/2 inches tall, weighs 213 pounds. And if you listen to the interviews that he puts out, whether they were down from Mobile or anything that you can find on the interweb, you can tell the guy's intelligent. He talks about being a film junkie. He's got that high football IQ. He's a hard worker. He's an established leader. He was the team captain at Stanford for 20 and 21. He's going to be the kind of player that every coach wants to coach, that every player wants to play with. That's the vibe that I get from Michael Wilson. On top of that, he checks all the boxes in height, weight, speed. He's very, very powerful. I think that's really his best on the field go-to trait. He's got good burst and get off the line in press man coverage. He plays with a high-end functional strength through the catch, hard to tackle, always falling forward. He's an excellent, very willing and excellent blocker, both on the perimeter and downfield. He's got very high-level ball skills. He's aggressive with the ball in the air. He's aggressive for those catches in traffic or in contested catch situations. He's got very, very strong hands. He's a hands catcher, which is a good thing, but he can snag the ball out of the air and it doesn't move with ease. On top of that, he's a very, very shifty, crisp, technical route runner. He sets up his defenders very well and uses that to his advantage to gain separation. Once he gains the separation, he's gone, man. He's got really, really good yards after catch ability. So like I said, he's got all the tools that you want to see out of your prototypical, X/Z receiver. The only thing is, and really the biggest flag for Michael Wilson is that he's got a major injury history. Last year in 6 games played, he had 26 receptions for 418 yards and 4 TDs. Again, he missed 6 games with a high ankle sprain. The last 6 games, that is. In 2020, he had a fractured foot Lisfranc injury that cut his season short after 4 games and actually held him out of the first 8 games in 2021. So all in all, Michael Wilson's only played 36 out of a possible 59 career games. That alone is going to just probably take him down or off of some boards altogether. Like I said, Michael Wilson's not very twitchy. He's just got a mid or an average athletic profile. It's a little stiff in the hips. He's not that stop and go type of receiver. He's got good speed, like I said. He'll run 4.5, maybe a hair under 4.5, but he's far from a burner. So he's not a guy that's going to take the top off of an NFL defense or consistently beat his man vertically. That's just not his game. All in all, a huge Senior Bowl, and he's a big riser. He routinely stood out rep after rep after rep, and then put it together on the game in the game itself, where he had 4 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. I think he's probably best suited as a Z, playing on the strong side of the field, but he's got the makeup, he's got the physical makeup, and he's got the abilities to also handle playing the X or on the short side of the boundaries, as that true possession receiver. As I said, he's a top 100 player for me in this draft class, but the big litmus test is going to be how he tests at the combines, if he can improve that, and how he fares during the physicals. That's really going to hold the key to where he ends up getting drafted. Uh, I like Michael Wilson in that late second, early third round. And if the Jets were to secure, say, your offensive lineman du jour in rounds 1 or 2, substitute in a safety or whatever, in rounds 1 or 2, however you go, and Michael Wilson is sitting there in the third round, maybe we get lucky and he sneaks out, to the 100, 110, wherever we pick in the fourth round. I think it would be a slam dunk. I like him as the Corey Davis receiver. Do I think he's ever going to be that alpha XWR number 1 in the NFL? Probably not. But I think he could be a very, very high-end number 2. He can become the quarterback's best friend, very reliable player on the offense relatively quickly. So be it. He proves that he's beyond that injury bug that bothered him through college, and nothing bothers him any further. Sky's the limit with talent like this. You want guys that want to play football. And let me tell you something. From everything I saw with my own eyes, from everything I heard with my own ears, and from all the film that I was able to get through of him, Michael Wilson's that guy. Michael Wilson loves football. He's the kind of guy that bleeds Gotham Green. I would love to see him on the New York Jets. So until next time, Jets fans, have a good one.